Hello everybody. I hope everybody is fantastic and is doing well during this corona thing and this time that we're actually going through. One of the reasons I guess I'm getting pushed to doing, because it is a bit pushed, been a little bit resistant to doing this kind of stuff, especially live and doing it, is to help everybody out. And the reality is it's not about me, it's actually about me helping you guys, because I'm actually just that channel for the spiritual world. Hi everybody, I'm Julie. For those who haven't met me, for those who have, hello. It's so nice for you to be seeing me again. And I look forward to being able to doing this weekly for you and actually answering your spiritual questions, or anything that pops up that you actually would like a little bit more information about. Remember, you can always pop in the comments if you have a question, or you can send me an email via Q&A@HappinessHeals.com.au. Thank you to the people that have actually reached out and actually sent me an email. I'm going to answer these for you now. Okay, so the first one I actually want to start with is a lady called Jen. Jen was basically asking me, Jen was asking me, like, what is my ancestral trauma that is playing out in my life? I probably should backtrack and actually tell you how I work. So I have been working with the spiritual world all my life. Didn't fully understand it as a child. They used to make me shit my pants, really. They used to really scare me, because the spiritual world sometimes sees young children as wanting to help, like they want to help. And they see the child freaking out. And what happens is, because they see the child freaking out, they come closer. And as they come closer, that child freaks out more, and that it creates a little bit of a miscommunication between the spiritual world and the child. And it does cause a lot more issues, because it can actually lock the child down. It can stop the child's abilities. It can stop the child choosing to work with the other side. For some children, it sends them in a different way, and they actually start working with the side big time, but they both work with the nasty side of it, as well as the good side of the spiritual world. And you know, as adults, we're here to actually help them guide through that as well. Yet some of the guides on the other side are learning as well, and sometimes they don't realize that coming so close to a child that's actually fearing them, because they can see them, sense them, hear them, however they choose to do it, they don't realize the child's actually freaking out about them. So it can be just a little bit of a miscommunication, which I'm guessing this has actually popped up too, because I feel like there's a few guides out there that are asking for some help, because they are learning on the other side as well. I don't just help the human beings sitting in my chair or sitting out there. I actually help the spiritual world that actually walks with them as well, and helps them to up level and to heal and to grow and that kind of stuff as well. So sometimes I get a human sitting in my chair and they have no idea at all why they're here, but it's actually the spiritual world on the other side actually needing the help and the guidance. So going back to Jen's question, because it feels like there were some guides out there that actually needed that little bit of understanding that you're learning too, and it's okay. And it's okay to find a human to be able to find the person that's going to answer your questions for you as well. So going back to Jen's question. Jen's question is, what is my ancestral trauma that is playing out in my life? So when I tuned into the question, because I'm an intuitive psychic medium, so I work on the healing side of things. Yeah, I can see there's an issue with your car. Yeah, I can see if you're going to meet somebody, that kind of stuff. But my skill set is more deeply aimed towards actually healing and working through the emotional shit that's actually going on in your timeline. So with Jan, one of the things I see with her thing that's actually popping up. I love doing past life regressions. It's amazing to see what will clear and what will come up and what gets brought up, and where people go and explore with what needs to be explored. With a past life, we tend to usually get through anywhere from 2 to 4 past lives in an hour and a half, depending on what's going on, but it usually averages out to about 2 to 4. So Jen, I really feel like this ancestral stuff that's playing out with you, I feel like it's a past life thing, yet I also feel like it's actually something that you've actually placed on yourself as a form of protection for yourself in the future. Yet I feel like that past life thing was put on you to protect yourself in the future in that past life. I don't think you actually realized that when you were doing it in that past life that it was actually going to affect you lives and lives and lives and lives and lives ahead. So you can do things like karmic clearing. If anybody wants to know a little bit more about karmic clearing, I'm more than happy to send you some information and stuff. Yeah, I feel like doing a past life regression would actually really help you go deep and actually understand what's actually going on with that ancestral trauma that's actually playing out. Because as I said, it feels like you've placed it on there as a form of protection, yet I don't feel that you actually realized back then, because you know you've gone back a long way, that it was still going to be affecting you lifetimes. And I've done that. I've worked out a couple of years ago, I did that to myself. I put a protection on me lifetimes ago. I didn't realize it was actually going to keep on affecting me lifetimes ahead, and it was just a matter of actually going in and doing what I needed to do to actually clear that out. So I hope that helps, Jen. If you need any more help with that, feel free to reach out and I'm more than happy to help. Let's go to the next email I got, which was from a lady called Flick. She's wanting to know if there's anything I can tell her about her guides or anything that they have to tell her. So Flick, it feels like there's still things that you're holding on to that you don't really need to hold on to. It feels like they've been pushing you a little bit lately. Have you stopped? I mean, I know with the corona, most people have stopped doing what they normally do, yet some people have actually chosen to be in the corona space and keep moving and keep learning and growing, whereas other people have chosen just to like Netflix and TikTok. Just discovered TikTok, by the way. Oh my goodness, very funny. Yet I feel like there's a part there that you've actually stopped pushing yourself, and that's what the guides that they're doing. They're actually sort of like pushing you to keep growing, but it feels like there's something there that you're holding on to. Tell you about your guides. I see 3 behind you. I feel like you've got a grandparent or something that's actually standing behind those 3. It doesn't feel like he intervenes very much, but he's like standing back, observing what's going on, and it's like he's the one that actually kicks the other 3's bottoms a little bit when they're getting it not right, or it's needing to be a little bit more for you. So the 3 there, I feel like one of them is actually quite new. Like I'm talking probably within the last 2 months or so. His energy feels a little bit more heavier than normal, or normally than the other 2. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's what you're feeling as well, because he feels like he's a little bit more of a heavier energy. It just means like they're showing to me, it just means he's a little bit more grounded, a little bit more solid. And I think that's to actually help you get more on a solid ground, instead of actually going up into your head so much. It's helping you to actually get into your body a little bit more and actually feel more safe actually living in this world, or accepting this world. It's big. Oh, accepting this world is a big thing. So yeah, one of them is quite heavy. He's actually there, as I said, to help you accept this world. The other 2, one doesn't say very much. Bit of a lighter energy. It feels like he talks to you through your tummy. So it's like when you get like a fluttery in your tummy, he's like sort of like poking you type thing to give you the heads up that you've got to be, I don't know, like it feels like you need to be thinking in a different direction, or thinking about something in a different direction. But it feels like it's like a butterflies thing that he actually gives you, and that's his connecting in with you. The 3rd one, and I see them actually, like the heavier one sort of stands on your right, and the butterfly in the tummy one sort of stands on your left. The one that stands behind you, you don't know the 3 of them that are walking with you. As I said, I see your grandparent behind you, but as I said, he's more the what what do you call it? More the ringleader, like the ringmaster. He's the one that sort of like oversees everything. So the one directly in the back with you, he feels very solid. He feels like he's been actually with you for a while. These are all very masculine energy guides, which makes me question too, is like, how are you going with your femininity? How are you going with honoring yourself as a female, and you know, and looking after yourself? I would actually say just to be looking into that and being aware of like, what are you doing for yourself that's sort of like really feminine? Because the three males that are with you are there to protect you and keep you safe. Yet it just feels like you could do a little bit of more feminine time. So maybe have a feel into that. Let me know in a comment, or let me know through an email if that resonates with you, and let me know what you're actually going to do for yourself to check in with yourself and your feminine side as well. Hope that helps. So my next email is from a lady. I'm just going to call her Shah. I'm sure she knows who she is, but I wanted to say congratulations on your pregnancy. That's so exciting. Anytime a bubby's coming into the world is actually really exciting, and it's really interesting to see the difference in children that are coming into the world at the moment. It's like I look at them and they're just a different energy. It's like their third eyes are on, their crowns are on, they're just a totally different children coming into the world, which is fascinating to watch. So her question is, I've never really been into the energy side of crystals before. She's been watching videos with people into the crystals and their meanings. But since being pregnant, there's a lot of stuff that's going on towards anger and the father of the child, and his family. She's feeling a lot of anxiety and second guessing if the choices that she's making is right for the child's future and hers. She was also wondering what crystals are good to help her with this, and how to get away negative energy from her and her unborn child. Okay, totally understandable. It's like with many people, a lot of people want to get into crystals, yet there is so much information out there and so many people doing so many things, you kind of don't know where to go. The trick is with crystals is they will talk to you the way they need to talk to you. The crystals will also change to help you the way you need to be helped. Quite often, just because the crystal has a name and it has a meaning in a book or meaning on Google and that kind of stuff, the crystal will still change its energy to help you with the way you need it to be helped. Yes, being said, there is crystals that are actually designed directly to help you with negativity and protection and different things, yet the crystals also change in order to help you. For an example, we put blinds on the shop window probably about 4 or 5 years ago, and I actually noticed, because we've been here 8 years this year, I actually noticed that once we put the blinds up, much to hubby's disgust because he's the one that put them up for me and it was a little bit tricky, but I noticed that when we actually put the blinds down at night, and when we keep the blinds down like on a Sunday and Saturday afternoon and stuff, I found the crystals actually breathe a relaxed energy. Because the blinds, we didn't have blinds originally, everyone that walks past at night and everyone that pops in, those crystals are still helping everyone that's actually looking in the window, everyone that's walking past. And it's like we put the blinds down and the crystals actually had the ability to rest. So yeah, they do change, they do work for you in different ways, and they do need some time out. So I think we've got the full moon coming up on the 6th of June, which is at the end of the week. So remember to pop your crystals out on a window ledge. Even if it's cloudy, the energies will still clear it. It tends to be sort of like 3 days before the full moon and 3 days after the full moon. 2 to 3 days after the full moon, you can still get the good full moon jujus for your crystals, but they need that little bit of extra help. They need that help to rejuvenate. So crystals for you. Anytime you've got negativity, anxiety, anger, that kind of stuff, the The best crystals to use is, like always, your black tourmaline and your fire agate. You can't go wrong with your black tourmaline and your fire agate. Your black tourmaline is like a de-hooker. It actually forms a protective barrier around you, and it actually stops things actually hooking into you. Fire agate does similar, but fire agate also, what it does is it actually acts as a barrier. So if somebody's actually sending you negativity, it actually puts like a barrier up and actually pops it back to them, which is fantastic, especially when you're working in like busy environments with lots of people, or you've got feeling there's a lot of anger and anxiety coming towards you. Fire agate and black tourmaline. One of the best ways, excuse me, I'm actually going to go find my crystal. One of the best ways to actually do it is actually have it in a donut. This is actually a fire agate donut. I tend to carry them in my bras or around my neck. I do have them in my wallet, I have them in my car, I have them in my laptop bag. If I travel, I pop one in my suitcase. I have them everywhere because it's a spiritual F-off stone. That's what I call it. Because basically it forms a protective barrier around you, and it means the ones on the other side that want to cause issues can't cause issues because you're protected. So I cannot recommend getting a donut enough, and having a black tourmaline or a fire agate is fantastic. That being said, I would also get a lemon. I'm actually going to pop the description into the lemon below this video. I'd actually get a lemon as well and get some pins. It's not any voodoo crap because you're not putting people's faces on things and stabbing them and stuff like that. It's nothing to do with that. Basically, the lemon takes the negativity from all that space and that environment, and when you pop the person's name in that's causing you trouble or stress or anxiety or anything like that, you pop the person's name into the pin, and you pop the pin into the lemon. And what happens is the lemon then takes the bitterness, the lemon then takes the sourness of the situation, and instead of actually coming to you. I also pin myself because, you know, you go through, I'm human as well, I go through stresses and I go through worries and I go through that kind of stuff. So I'll actually pop myself into my own lemon. You'll find the lemon will either go like a moldy, like around some pins, or it goes really hard, like it just sort of shrivels up and goes hard. Sometimes lemons can last 2 months, sometimes they can last 5 days, depending on the level of negativity that is actually happening around you. Once your lemon goes yucky, pop your lemon, pick your lemon up and pop the whole thing in the bin, grab another lemon and start again. But I'll pop the link or the write-up underneath this, and that'll explain it, because that'll actually help with the anxiety and the anger and stuff that's actually coming through with the father of the child and his family. The other thing when it comes to pregnancies is quite often we can actually pick up, when we're pregnant, we can actually pick up on the baby. And as I said, the children that are coming into the world at the moment, they're so clever. Like, they're so clever and so on. And I've seen them take over the energy field of the mum. So everyone's got energy fields around them. And when the baby feels like it's not being protected enough, or it doesn't feel safe, or it feels like mum needs a little bit of help, or mum's a bit tired, or the bub wants something different from mum, they will actually use their energy and take over mum's energy in the space, in the body. And quite often the mum's picking up on stuff that is not hers, but she has no idea where it's coming from. And quite often it's a brand new baby. I would suggest bubbling yourself. Like, it's really important to bubble yourself, because when you're protecting your energies, you're not disturbing other people's energies. If you're in a really high vibration or in a low vibration, you're not disturbing other people, and you're also not taking on other people's shit and other people's bubbles and that kind of stuff. So I'd really recommend popping a bubble on yourself. Whatever color pops to mind is fantastic. Gold is usually the best one to use because gold really reflects. The rainbows are fantastic too. Like, pop a rainbow bubble around you. That way you've got all the colors, which is really good. Then I would actually suggest, and you do this in your mind's eye, so you're not going to be able to see this happening. Some people can, some people have that ability just do it in your mind's eye. And what you're doing is you're popping a bubble around yourself, but you're also trusting whatever color pops into your mind, because that bubble will talk to you. Pop a bubble around the baby that's actually inside your tummy. So you've got your bubble, and then there's another little bubble around the baby as well. And that also protects your bub deeper from other people, and it also helps bub to work with you a little bit better and not take over your energy field. They're already taking so much from you when they're in your tummy. Taking your energy and actually using and utilizing your energy is not the best way to do it, yet they're going to do what they need to do to actually keep them safe as a little soul. So yeah, I'd recommend doing the lemon. I'd recommend bubbling you and Bub. I'd also recommend getting a black tourmaline or a fire agate. I believe we have some online. If not, if you're near the shop, you can pop in. They're also popping into my head the crystal amazonite. I feel like that's going to offer you some feels like security or safety. So it's a different energy to work with. Gee, I say R a lot, don't I? I'm thinking. But yeah, amazonite's actually pretty good. I'd recommend amazonite or fire agate and black tourmaline. That'll actually help counteract all that, and actually get a lemon happening as well. That'll actually make a big difference as well. Just want to make sure. Do you know what? When it comes to you worrying about your child's future and yours, that makes so much sense. Women naturally have a hormone release when they're pregnant that gives them a space where they go into allowing themselves to be looked after. I know. It's actually a natural instinct. It's actually a hormone that gets released in the system. And because the reality of it is you get pregnant, the reality of it is your system wants a partner. That's like the traditional stuff, yeah. Though these days, you're more than welcome to have babies and stuff by yourself, but that hormone where you want to know that you're protected and know that no matter what is going to go on with you in the pregnancy and the bub afterwards and everything like this, that you're going to be safe. So this hormone naturally gets released, and when the situation isn't ideal and you feel like you've got to do it alone, that tends to mess with the hormone, because the hormone goes, hang on, am I actually safe? Wait up, am I actually safe? I'm not safe. And it will actually go into worry and stress. I would actually suggest writing a list down of all the things that are exciting about having this baby, and all the things that are fantastic and exciting about being a mum, and being a single mum, and what kind of a life do you want for yourself, and what kind of life do you want for your bubby, and put some good stuff down, because when we keep focusing on all the shit, that's what we're going to keep getting, and we're going to keep getting more stress and worry. So yeah, write a list down of all the things that you're actually so excited about having this baby, and how it's going to be, and how you want to feel, and look at your birthing plan, and how do you want to feel afterwards, and how do you want to raise a child, and actually start looking at the positive things, because the reality of it is you are pregnant. It does feel like you do want this bub, and when you actually got the focus right, that's going to help you and bub so much more with your focus in the positive way. If you're wanting any more information, just email me back. I'm more than actually happy to help with that. But black tourmaline, fire agate, and for you, my dear, amazonite seems to be the way to go. And grab the lemon. Lemons are fantastic. I've got one in my, well, at the shop we've got one at the front door and the back door. And at home I've got one in my front door. Never without a lemon. So I hope that helps. I'm just calling a Shah. And I wish you so much luck with the pregnancy, because it's exciting. New little bubbers in the world. Let's go to Carly. Oh, Carly, happy birthday. It's so exciting to have a birthday. Mine was yesterday. A little bit older than you, but that's all good. But happy birthday. Geminis are a fantastic star sign. We're definitely a different special breed. Let's have a look at Carly. So she feels like since she was a small child, she's always felt like there was something holding her back. Could you tell me what it is, and what can I do about it, please? Right. Oh, that's interesting. Right. So Carly, what I see with you, I'm going to give you a bit of a backstory. So children can be quite intuitive, as I said. They see the other side, they've got gifts and abilities, they see, hear, feel, all the rest of it. And what happens too is sometimes the other side doesn't understand that they're children and don't understand that they can't hold the capacity as an adult can to understand the future things and to understand world events and to understand emotions and feelings, yeah? Because they're children, they're supposed to be innocent and play. But sometimes the spiritual world doesn't understand that, and especially when you've got a spiritually gifted child, they will keep giving information and gifts to that child to keep them growing and to keep them on track, yeah? Yet sometimes it's too much. So as a parent, you have the authority to help your child out if they're not coping with the information that's coming from the other side. Now, you've got the permission to actually ask for that child to have its gifts and abilities put on hold until the child is at an age where it has the tools and the ability to have the space to know its gifts, to know its abilities, to know what it wants to do, and how to use its gifts. So some children you shouldn't do that with, because locking the child's spiritual abilities down can really piss the child off, and also it doesn't help the child to learn how to use those gifts and abilities. Yet if it's causing too much issues with the home and you and the child, like I remember my son got massively distressed when he was young, and like I'm talking like a 3-4-year-old, like being shown world events that are coming, and then two weeks, 2 months later we're on the internet and he's like, oh, that's my mountain that killed all these people. So it was just too much for him. So that is when I learned that as an adult, as his parent, I can pop a hold on his spiritual gifts until he's at an age where he's ready to cope, and to have the tools to actually to work with it. So that's happened for him this year. It was actually before his 16th birthday. They popped into my head. I sat him down because he's already like so in tune, so on. But I popped him and sat him down. And I went, well, this is what happened when you were a child. This is what I did to actually help you, and just to let you know that that's all going to start wakening up now, because obviously you're ready to deal with it, and you've got the tools and the gifts to work with it. So Carly, it actually feels like the similar thing happened to you when you were a young child. It feels like somebody that is related to you has placed a block on your gifts and abilities because it was too much for you as a child. I don't believe the adult actually knew what they were doing, because you know, I often see, for an example, like if I cemetery, I often see children and adults binded to their graves, and they can't leave their grave site because they've had a loved one that's in such oh, we paused for some reason, sorry. We're back. Not sure what's going on with the internet. That there's been a child or an adult in such like distress because the parents or a loved one is at the grave site, and they've said something like, oh my God, please be here, please you know, stay here so I can actually come and visit you. And somehow through their words have actually binded them to that cemetery place, to their grave. So when you're unbinding them, that then allows them to go and explore and do what they need to do. So it feels like it's not been a on purpose thing. It feels like there's somebody that's been related to you that has actually placed a binding on you with your spiritual gifts, and it feels like that's what's actually holding you back, because it actually feels like you're quite intuitive. It feels like you're quite on with knowing. It doesn't feel like I've awakened the seeing ability yet on the other side. I feel like the hearing's a little bit there, but it feels like more a knowing and a feeling that's actually happened. And that feels like that once that block has been lifted, it feels like that's going to start wakening up. How to help you unlock the block? little bit of an incarnation, like a little bit of a an unbinding spell type thing to put onto this one, because it doesn't feel like, because the person didn't realize what they were exactly doing, it's happened that way. It feels like there's a little bit of a binding thing to undo. So what I'll do, Carly, is I'll actually respond to your email with the steps to take with that. And it feels like once you've taken those steps to actually unbind it, it feels like your abilities are going to start unlocking. I still feel like it'll take like a period of like 2 months or so for it to really be moving through your system, for you to actually really know the changes and the blocks in that. But the person that put it on there didn't realize they're doing it. It wasn't out of malice. It wasn't out of a nasty thing. It just means that they were like probably at their wits' end and couldn't sleep themselves and have said something without even them realizing that it's actually blocked your gifts and abilities, which, you know, it hasn't helped you, but we can change that around. So I will actually send you an email with the steps to unbind stuff, and that'll actually help you with that. So one last question, because we're getting close. So the next email I got from Silvana. Hello. She's popped a few questions to me. I'm going to start with question 2. Can you tell me something significant about my past life? It feels like there's some kind of a royalty thing in your past life. It feels more like an Arabic-y, like an Arab or Egyptian. No, it feels like more Arab stuff. But it feels like there's a royalty thing happening that's happened in a past life. And I believe that I've been guided to actually read that question first, because I feel like this is something that's actually awakening at the moment. I wouldn't be surprised if there's things stirring and coming up that you're not quite sure how to put your finger on, and it feels like there's a royalty past life thing that's coming up. I feel like if you do some journaling around in relation, like, so grab a piece of paper and write in relation to my past life with royalty, I believe, and just start seeing what sort of like what diaries out of your head, because I feel like something in that will actually give you the heads up of what's actually going on with that past life thing. But it feels like there's some kind of a royalty thing, but more than happy to explore more past life stuff with you if that's what if you're drawn to that. You know, we can always learn from past lives. We can always learn what we didn't learn. It's amazing what's nooked and crannied in there. I'm also where I'm getting the push to wrap it up. So I'm just having a look to see what other questions you have. So one of the questions she was asking about her guides and who walks with her and who's communicating with her. But one of the questions she has is, Silvana, to you, is what do they want you to know right now? One of the biggest things is trust. It feels like there's a little bit of trust, I don't know, being questioned, or you're not trusting yourself. There seems to be something around trust, but they definitely want you to know that you've got to trust the situation. You've got to trust how things flow. That's a very big one. It feels like trusting how things flow. I'm not sure if you've got a lemon, Silvana, but I'd actually be getting a lemon and actually putting a pin in the lemon in relation to anything that's blocking or stopping your flow. And because it feels like there's something blocking and stopping flow, which is disturbing something with trust. So let me know what that is. You can pop me through an email or comment below. Yeah, let me know what that is, because there's something to do with trust. I'm always curious. Is there anyone that's crossed over that wants to communicate with me? You have a female there that wants to communicate with you. I don't feel like this person actually walks with you regularly. It just feels like there's somebody that just sort of pops in and out. It feels like they died of some kind of heart stuff. there's something around heart stuff. I think you knew them when you were little, so I'm not sure how well you knew them, but it feels like you knew them when you were little. What's their information for you? They're saying something about watching where you're stepping, watching how you're stepping, or watching where you're stepping. It feels like maybe you're not looking at all the situations deeply enough, or looking at all the different paths that come off a situation. So they're saying to watch where you step a little bit more. So I'd actually say that it's more of an indication of look into each path before you choose to go down it, which also comes down to that trust thing. And it can be a tricky thing because you've got to trust yourself which path, but you've also got to question which path is the right path. And it can get tricky, but you pin whatever it is to do with that flow, and things will actually shift around for you, which is I think will actually make a big difference for you. She says, what career path do I see for her? Definitely helping people. I'm not sure exactly which area it is. They're not showing me that because I'm really aware they're telling me to wrap it up. But it definitely feels like it's in the realm of helping people. It feels like a more of a one-on-one thing, as opposed to you know, massive groups of people. That's not saying you can't do massive groups of people. It just feels like you're going to be doing more one-on-one work. I feel like you work better with more one-on-one work. So something in the field of actually helping somebody or helping people. I'm not sure what you're doing now, but it feels like, it also feels like that's going to pop. Knowing what you want to do, or what you're supposed to be doing, it feels like that's going to pop sort of like within 3-4 months. You'll actually know a little bit more about which direction to take, but it's definitely around helping people. So if you're wanting some guidance, thank you for attending. Hello to all the people that are on, and hello to all the people that will be tuning in afterwards. If you're wanting some guidance, please feel free to reach out at the word and at HappinessHeals.com.au. More than happy to help answer your questions, and I hope you have a fantastic week. I look forward to reading your emails, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Keep safe and have a fantastic day. Bye.